This is like the Telegraph's pictorial, this is your life, in cricket photographs. So going back over the 20 years, I'm just saying, I think that's the fifer at Lords, isn't it, against Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been my first wicket, that. Rob Key at short leg.
What an important part he would go on to play.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, it was I remember that well. It was a great day. Not sure about the hair, but well, great week, in fact. You know, getting wickets on your debut at Lords is stuff dreams are made of.
Do you remember that first wicket? What did Kesey say to you in that?
I can't remember what he said. I do remember the wicket, yeah. I remember just tried to bowl as fast as I could, really. And one got through the defence of Mark Vermeulen.
It's not all been plain sailing, obviously. This is Centurion, Test Series, a successful tour for England, but a tricky one for yourself, 2003?
Yeah, a bad one for me, yeah. So I didn't play the first 3 tests and then came in for the 4th test again for Simon Jones, I think it was, at the Wanderers. And I don't know, I think at the time, because I've been 21, 22, didn't have any sort of fallback if things started going wrong. I hadn't played any cricket then as well. It was a tour where we'd just been bowling sort of at lunch of games, a stump, bowled the odd time in the nets. But I was just, rusty, just got it horribly wrong all game, and felt like that could have been it for my Test career, to be honest. It was a bad week.
They were an established team as well, weren't they? And it was quite hard for a young player, presumably, to break through. I mean,
yeah, it was tough. I think I started off actually. I felt okay at the start of my first spell. I actually swung a bit. I was bowling at Callis and Herschel Gibbs, who were 2 of the best players in the world at the time. So once they got through that first good bit, they just waited till I got tired and then smacked it everywhere.
Happier times?
Yeah. That was 2007, I think, at Lords, getting Tendulkar, LBW.
You've been through a lot, hadn't you, in between?
Yeah, I think that summer was probably the one where I felt like I was getting back to the form that I'd showed at the start of my career.
This was after the back injury, wasn't it?
Yeah, so 2006 got a stress fracture, missed the whole of that summer, and then went on the Ashes 2006-07 winter, and then it was the following summer where I felt like I'd actually found something. I've got to grips with my action, got more consistent, I guess, and knew where the ball was going more often than not. So, which obviously helps. But I had a decent summer there against India. Yeah.
This one came up a lot during the winter, didn't it? The sort of marrying together of you and Stuart Broad. Yeah,
2008 in Wellington. That was quite big for us both, actually. I said 2007 summer I sort of started finding my feet a little bit, but it felt like this was a real turning point for both of us. With Harmison and Hoggard getting left out, who'd been fantastic for England over a period of time. The 2 senior guys getting left out for 2 younger guys just felt like a real vote of confidence from the coach, and I think we just allowed us to push on from there.
This was a challenge for the picture desk, finding one of you batting, but but one of the great Ashes days for England fans, even though it was in a draw.
Yeah, 2009 at Cardiff. It's not often you celebrate a draw. The position we were in, batting for 40 minutes with Monty, was a challenge for both of us, and managed to get through that and went on to win the series, which I feel like, well, we won the next game at Lords actually, which it felt like we'd carried momentum from Cardiff into that game.
And that's 10-11, obviously a fantastic tour. I think that looks like Sydney, the final knocking.
Yeah.
Would you say that's your finest hour as an England cricketer, that tour? Or
yeah, it'd be right. It'd be right up there. I think I can't really think of many other tours I bowled that well. I think I got 24 wickets in the series. Felt like I bowled well in every game. Always felt threatening. I think that's what you want as a bowler. I think we just got a run out. I think Trott ran out Katic.
That's right, yeah.
And I'd be working on this wobble seam ball, and I thought I was going to go for it first ball against Ponting and try and get him LBW. We nicked it instead to Graham Swan, and then got Michael Clark out, I think, the next ball. But yeah, that was huge in that series, because again, similar to 2009 when in Cardiff we drew and then went on to win the next game, we managed to get a draw in Brisbane, which is huge because Australia have such a great record there, and then we went on to win at Adelaide. So I think that was one of my favourite Test matches.
Your old mate Swanee tells a story about that tour of you calling Mike Hussey Dave all the way through, just to get under his skin. You may want to refute that. I don't know whether that's true or not. We found a picture of you and
yeah,
making that happen.
Well, he was a real thorn in our side, was Mike Hussey, because Swanee played with him at Northants. I was trying to find stuff to get under his skin, and obviously his brother's called Dave, so I thought I'd try that, and called him Dave for the whole series.
Did he ever come back at you?
No, he didn't. He just stared back at me and didn't really say anything. I feel like we had a drink sometime after. I don't know if it was after this series, but he came up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Mike."
This is one of your favourite wickets, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
At Trent Bridge.
Yeah, VVS Laxman at Trent Bridge. One of my favourite grounds to play at, actually. It's been a great ground for swing bowlers for a number of years, but actually this was just a seam up ball. I think might have kept a bit low. Yeah, I love getting good players out. It's been something you just can't get a better feeling getting the opposition's best players out. VVS Laxman's certainly one of the most eye-catching Indian batters I've ever bowled at.
And that's Trent Bridge as well, isn't it? I mean, that's
Yeah.
a nerve shredder at the end of the Test match against Australia. Brad had in
round,
hadn't he?
Yeah, one of my favourite pictures, actually. I think I'm pretty sure nearly everyone's in this picture of the team, because we've been together in a huddle with the DRS system if Haddon had nicked it, and obviously with them needing 14 or 16, was it you say?
Yeah.
16 to win. I was getting quite nervy at the time, so real just like elation coming out, and passion and relief as well.
Swank were doing something similar there, aren't they? That
Yeah.
you were doing at Trent Bridge. That's at Headingley, and you were really upset after that game, because England lost to Sri Lanka, lost the series. You were trying to bat out the day with Moeen, and obviously because it meant they put Alistair Cook under a lot of pressure, didn't it, at the time?
Yeah, Moeen Ali got a great 100. Batted most of the day, if not all of the day, and I batted for about, I think it was 50 odd balls. It was over 50 balls, I think, for naught, and it was this penultimate ball that I'd fended off and got caught. So just devastated to get that close to, again, a draw, which would have celebrated. But one of those things, it doesn't always go your way, and you've got to take the rough with the smooth, I guess, and that was extremely rough.
I mean, you were tearful at the end, weren't you? I mean, if I got it right.
Yeah, I think I was on the stage for something. I don't know what. Man of the match, maybe. No, it wasn't man of the match. Can't have been. Anyway, I was on stage at the end with others asking the questions, and I guess it's just like the emotion builds up, and you get so close to something, and when it doesn't go your way, it can be difficult to deal with.
Special moment. You had your family there, Antigua, going past Beefy.
Memorable day that I've, on a pretty flat wicket. There's so many things I remember about this day. So my family and a few mates were in a box watching, and it was getting late in the day towards the end of the game, and they thought I wasn't going to get the record because and they were flying home the next day, so they were a bit stressed out. But then Stuart Broad was telling me which ball to bowl, and I bowled this ball, and it was a bit slow and a bit wide, and he was like, so I got back to my mark. He's like, I said, I'd try something else. He said, no, do the same thing again, just bowl it quicker and aim at leg stump. It was like a leg cutter. And I bowled it, and he nicked it through to Alistair Cook, I think. So again, for me, that was a nice example of the partnership that me and Broadie have had over the years. And then obviously Beefy being there at the end, after passing his record, he was so complimentary, and it was just a nice moment for him being there. Yeah.
Lancashire means a lot to you, as we know. I mean, Jimmy Anderson, the James Anderson end.
Yeah.
It's unusual for a current player to get something like that bestowed upon them, isn't it?
Usually people are long retired or dead, yeah. So it's nice. It just makes it a little bit uncomfortable for me when I bowl at this end in games. But It's yeah, again, something that myself and my family are really proud of. I'm really thankful to Lancashire for as well, because sort of over the years I've not played a huge amount for them. I think I have played more for England than I have for Lancashire. So for them to recognise me in this way is so nice, and also I'm so thankful for them as well. They've basically helped me get to where I am, coming through the age groups here. So very grateful to the club.
This is not such a, I mean, it's batting, but really it was a story of you not bowling, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, in 2019.
Yeah, 2019 was a tough one. But again, you know, as a fast bowler, one of those things that you have to deal with. You have to deal with injury and disappointment. And actually, when I was batting, I did my calf bowling, and then actually thought I could maybe get away with bowling in the second innings, just sort of hobbling a little bit. But then actually did it worse when I was batting, pushing off for a single. So not a great Test match. Yeah.
I mean, this was a surreal day, wasn't it? I mean, it was at the Rose Bowl, it was a COVID summer. There was nobody there apart from the press and a few stewards, and it was a big milestone for you, but one that almost didn't happen.
Yeah, well, it rained quite a lot. So yeah, I think it was almost called off. I think played a little bit towards the end of the day, and the game was turning out to be a draw, and there was no one in the ground, which was so strange. And even watching it back, like you can just hear the players sort of celebrate and no one else, which is quite strange for a Test match. But yeah, really proud moment to get 600 wickets, and again to get a good player out. I feel like a lot of the nice moments that I've had, the milestone moments, have also been caught by good mates, and Joe Root catching that one as well was something special. And I think, like, you know, when you spend a lot of time in a team together, you appreciate the moments that they've had as well as you've had. And I think, you know, speaking to him and other people, they remember that moment as well, and being part of it, they quite enjoy.
From we're playing so long, there's so many photos, but to talk about, because this was relatively recent, obviously, in 2021, Virat Kohli, first ball again at Trent Bridge.
Yeah. I don't think I got him out for a while before this, so I think that's why the veins are popping out of my neck. Again, getting India's best player out, just a huge moment for the team in the game, and I think that passion just coming out in the celebration. So I've had some amazing battles against Virat over the years, and he's an amazing player and an incredible competitor as well. So always like getting him out.
And I mean that could have taken any point out of the last 12 months, really. You celebrating a wicket with Ben Stokes. It must be in England, I think, looking at the green list of the outfield. But you were saying, I mean, backed #1 in the world under Stokes and back in the team.
Yeah, it's been an amazing 12 months. I feel like my bowling's been as good as it has been in my career, really. To get back to #1 for a stage was great. But I think the main thing for me is actually just contributing to a successful team, winning Test matches. That is what people want. You want to be involved in successful teams, and also to have a smile on my face on the field as well, which I think is a collector's item, to be honest. Which Ben said more than once.